Hello again. I'm back with my part 2 to show you all the good details of how to do these joints. And notches and carves and all kinds of bits and bobs. Right, first I'm going to start with the bait arm. And the bait arm needs to be reasonably straight. This has got a bit of curve, but it's okay. But it needs to be reasonably straight, a little bit straighter than it is at the moment. But it's fine like it is, to be honest. It will do. It's more natural with its curve, I suppose, because completely straight stick for most things is a bit unusual. Right, I'm just gonna trim off all these bits here so it's reasonably straight, not too bumpy. So that's not bad at this moment in time. Just pick this off here. You can see it's quite sharp. But then, like I've shown you, you just need a notch in here. That's a notch, and that's fine like it is at the moment. You can actually tack just a small nail in the middle if you want. Just a small nail for something for the bait to grip onto, I suppose. Or possibly even 2 tacks for when the squirrel's trying to nibble. You kind of has a bit more to kind of pill on and gives them a lot more force onto the trap. Right, now I'm going to sharpen it outwards. Some of you would do is to sharpen it. And I'm going to do this outwards, like this, and around. And twist it every time. So it ends up being kind of like a pencil shape, like a cone. Like this. Yeah. Then I'm going to do this, kind of go right down the top. Flatten out, so I'm not actually trying to make a point, I'm just trying to flatten it out a little bit, making it a cone around. Right, turns out like that, and that's perfect, that's exactly what you want. Worked for me, I've never caught anything on these traps. I set one up once, but wasn't too keen on it, so I looked up on the internet a few moderations I can do onto it, how to modify it, and I come up with a few good ideas myself. Most of this is just notches I've done myself. This bit people don't do, they don't worry about it, but I'm a bit of a neat freak, to be honest. I prefer to, I'm not a neat freak, but when it comes to snares and traps, I like to make it as neat and possible, and to give me the best chance of catching or killing whatever it is I'm after. I'm quite determined. Right, it should end up like this, either end, and like this either end, and there you go, that's just your bait arm. I'll leave this one, yeah. This one here is the end stick, and this one actually already carved before. And there you go, you just simply go in at an angle like this, there's the blade, and you go in like that, and you push down on top. You keep doing that a bit till it gets quite flat, and about 5 mil in, 6 mil in, something like that, and get into a good enough angle. And this here, yet again, all of this wood was cut 2 days ago, so it's all fresh, and it's better to this green for sure, because if it's dry you won't be able to do it very well. But then I just slowly, I'll show you how to do this, this isn't too hard. Slowly work it in, a bit of a point, bit of an angle. Do this one up a bit better, like this. Now and there you then stake in the ground, like that. We have each point here, the hook which actually holds it in, and I'll show you, I'll see if I can show you a demonstration after this video of how it works. It's going to be a bit crap, to be honest, and you might not be able to visualise it like I do. I'm dyslexic and I can visualise things, I'm not superhuman of course, but I can visualise things a bit better than anybody without dyslexia. They're not guaranteed, there's some people that are very clever, but I just find it easier to show an item and picture how it works in my head before I do it. That's how I always work. Alright, and I'm just going to go round and around and around and around. Like this. To get a rounded point to all the others. And then the bottom one here, I'm just going to slowly carve outwards till I get a point. Now these aren't really shavings as such, but you can put these in a paper bag or just a carrier bag, and then put them in the airing cup, make sure nothing falls out. You can dry these, and they make quite a good tinder if you're out camping and you use them as tinder. You can, they are very good, but they need a good dry first before you go using them. Oh, and there, that would do for now. And there you that's done. This snare's already done. I won't be able to curl. Oh, well, I'll be able to curl it quite easily, but I'm not going to bother it much. It's incredibly. I've got to put a lot more force to it than you do with green wood. Bit of a better point on that now. And then, last but not least, the arm that goes behind the two curved arms. And then simply go on the top. You don't really have to do it on this bit at all. This bit doesn't rub or do anything like that. It's just, you know, to make a nice neat finish, and looks a little bit fancy when people see the trap. With the snare, they thought, oh, that's quite cool, isn't it? That's quite snazzy. But, you know, you want more luck, then you've got to put as many as you can. The cane that does come off this, actually, you can rather use a sapling, which is just a young tree. You know, quite thin tree. You can just hang it over there, and it's a lot more natural. But they don't have much of a powerful spring than what a fibre rod does. I haven't got hold of myself one yet, but I want to try and get a little hold of a load with Amazon or something, see if I can get some carbon, well, not carbon fibre, but it's carbon off what they call fibre rods, which are very flexible and they proper, you know, have a good arch on them, and you will get a very good spring. So this is how it works. Now I'm just going to show you the basics of how it works. I'm not quite sure if you understand this, but basically we lay these out. These go like this, but spaced apart. This piece then comes over with this groove behind the arch here. This piece then comes further back down the line, and then the bait drops in on this piece here, like that. Now your line, the string you have, and I'll show you the string as well in part 3, comes off here and comes round, and you push it up. This piece comes off there, and this piece comes off here. And basically what happens is when whatever it is comes and eats the bait, this stick then pushes down, this stick flings up from the two hooks, then your arm flings up, and whatever it is rather snapped its neck, injured or hung quite fast, or still alive and hanging if it's got it by the paw. That's why you should check it regularly. But I wouldn't go up to it physically. I would check it from a distance. So if you have a large garden and you can see it and it's visible, then go, you know, have a little peep out the window every now and then and see. Or if it's not quite as close, you may have a little look, but don't freak out or anything. Because if the squirrel, you know, is near it, thinks, oh, I might go down there in a minute, have a look where that is, and you walk around the area, he's going to think, nah, I'm going to stay away from them because he's a human. You just want to be you want to be cautious. So check it every couple of hours, make sure it's somewhere you can see it easily, and if not, you've got a job or you've got stuff to do, check it, every 5 hours. Then check it at least once a day if you can, because you do not want to leave a squirrel overnight, especially with if for example there's a fox going through the woodland. What's that smell? Oh, it's a hanging squirrel, and there you go, your trap's useless. So yeah, thanks for watching. Just make sure you actually set this snare up right, and you have permission from the farmer to use his land and to use his his fields for this in his woodland, because you really don't want to get on the wrong side. Because if he is around the area and you haven't asked permission, let's say his dog is in the woodland and gets his paw caught in it, and squeals or something, and the farmer comes down, what's going on, sees the dog, he's then going to think, oh, who's done this? I'm not happy, because this understand he doesn't have permission. So just remember to have permission. Don't put no footpaths or anybody or anything can get hurt. I believe this one is legal in the UK, no matter what. But I know rabbit snares are illegal without a brass eye. But you, yet again, keep it away from public footpaths. Keep it in farmers' fields. And the snare I will actually show in part 3 alongside this, because you can either use string or metal wire. But I think I should be making a separate video of setting snares in a field at some point, and I will release it whenever I can get a chance. So thanks for seeing part 2. Sorry if it's been a bit boring, but I was just showing you the joints. But if you're experienced with a knife, then you should kind of get a grasp of the joints quite easily and know what you've got to do. So yeah, part 3 is basically setting the trap and doing it, which part 3 might not be out for quite a while. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed and thank you for watching.